Hello everyone, John Jugger 12 back here again with another video, and today, once again, I'm back with another video, a part of my ongoing series, well not ongoing, but currently ongoing series that I like to call creating a live-action Dragon Ball franchise. Of course, there's been tons of fucking videos that I've personally have made that have gotten views and personal comments from people who definitely agree and definitely would love to see a Dragon Ball live action franchise. And personally, I am just a guy here trying to give out my personal thoughts on how it should go down. I mean, I personally love film in general and I love anime, but if there's an anime that stands out to me that deserves its dues in the film industry, it's definitely Dragon Ball, especially seeing as how it really failed in the box office and failed with critics and fans alike with Dragon Ball Evolution. Now, for the past several, I like to say months, practically this entire year, I've been trying to put out content that we can get to work towards a Dragon Ball live action franchise because I want to see it. I said this in the comment section to a specific YouTuber who was talking to me, and I said, before I die, I want to see something that I never seen before presented to me in the cinema. You know, I want to see Goku versus Vegeta at the movie theater. I don't want to fucking see, another ridiculous comic book movie that I've seen plenty of times. Even comic book movies that I love. I love Batman, I love Superman, but I've seen them so many times, it gets old after a while. I want to see a good anime movie, and of course the Japanese culture, the Japanese in and of itself, they've done their job to fucking put out live action adaptations to their products, and they are going to continue going on. Now, when it comes to the American cinema, I like to differentiate from the Japanese a little bit. I like to do things differently. I want there to be moral values / realistic takings on the characters that I love in Dragon Ball. I want there to be death. I want there to be themes. I want there to be a morality with the characters, and I want there to be specific if you will, versions of the characters that we're not particularly used to seeing. You know, Goku is used to being like the comedic, very leading hero of the series, but it would be interesting to see a different take on him. Of course, when I try to get at it in this part of my series, I think this is part 3 of the ongoing series. I'm trying to get to defining the line towards the anime and the movie. Where do we draw the line? The manga is the manga. That's the source material. You can use it to apply to your screenplays, your scripts, your lines, your dialogue. Anything that you craft on paper, you use the source material for. That's what I personally believe. If you're going to make a movie that's dedicated to Raditz coming to Earth, threatening Goku and the human race with an ultimatum, you use the source material to inspire you to create a good, realistic version of that specific story. But when it comes to the anime, there are things, especially the English anime. I'm specifically talking about the English anime dub of the version. Where do you draw the line in it? Because there are things that you want, things that are not presented in the manga, and things that you personally wish you could see adapted on a live-action format. Like I'm saying, for instance, it's over 9,000. You know for a fact, if you're going to do a movie that's dedicated to Goku versus Vegeta, you know somewhere in there you gotta have Vegeta say that line. Is it embarrassing? Is it goofy? Is it over the top or stupid? It really depends on your actor's performance, in my opinion, because it all goes down to performance, I personally believe. If you have an actor who's sounding way too over-dramatic, or let's say over-exaggerated as a character, then I guess there is a time to draw a line. You know, for instance, it's over 9,000. That's Vegeta's most iconic fucking quote from Dragon Ball Z other than I am the Prince of all Saiyans and various other stuff like that. So of course, it just all it really all depends. But then you have to. Then there's things you can't draw the line on. You can't really like have Goku say Kamehameha and completely not say Kamehameha. Then you're just cutting hairs, I guess. And if I'm just downright talking about it, personally, I stated in my previous creating a live action franchise video that I stated that in my vision of what a Dragon Ball Z live action franchise should be, it should be a set of films, obviously, a set of films depicting and dedicating it to the Saiyan saga all the way towards the end of the Frieza saga, even possibly even hinting and possibly foreshadowing the Trunks and Android saga. That's what I personally would do. That would my set of films, if just as an example scenario, that's how I would like to see it presented to me. That's how I would make it. That's personally how I want to see a Dragon Ball live action franchise. I would like to see it that way. And I specifically said that the story should be dedicated to Goku all the way through, but have him die. That's where I'm drawing the line between the anime, manga, and my story. That's the way I would like to see it. Because in my vision of what I'd like to see, and what it should be, I personally believe, is that Goku should die at the end because he serves his purpose. You know, in an American studio audience does not want to see everything adapted because that's too easy. That's the internet fan fiction stuff, and that's all fun and games on the internet. But I don't want to see shot for shot adaptations of the anime. You know, especially things that don't, get presented that well. You know, if you're not going to do it to its full potential, then don't do it. It's just complete pointless. Recreate it or redo something else. That's what I personally believe. I want to see Goku go from the character that we're used to seeing all the way through and creating a new legacy for himself. You know, because when you look at the anime and the manga, you kind of rewatch it. And you rewatch the Saiyan saga all the way towards the end of the Frieza saga. Goku serves his purpose. His sole purpose throughout the Dragon Ball franchise, through Saiyan saga to Frieza saga, is to save the Earth, save the people of Earth, save his son, his family, his legacy. That's his sole purpose. And then that kind of ventures towards saving not only the Earth but the universe, but more importantly, obviously, the Earth. After that's served, Frieza's dead. He's done. He's gone. And there's this complete gap in between Frieza saga and the Trunks saga where Goku's not around anymore. He's alive, everybody knows it, but he's not there. That's because he had no intentions of ever coming back. Goku, when you rewatch the Dragon Ball Z Trunks saga, the beginning where Goku comes back, he clearly states that the only reason he came back was because of Frieza. Like, if Frieza did not come back, Goku would have never came back. He had no intentions because he believes that, and he kind of states it in the Cell saga as well. It's like, because you go through this journey, Goku really serves his purposes and doesn't really save the day throughout the sagas, The Trunks saga, the Android saga, and the Cell saga are all done by various different people. Trunks saves Earth from Frieza. Vegeta saves Earth from the androids. Gohan saves Earth from Cell. They do it. They do all the work. Goku really has no purpose in this storyline. So I really believe that there's no point in having Goku there. And in the end of the Cell saga, Goku chooses to die. He chooses to stay in the other world because he believes that his actions, that he's developed this code of ethics where he must be the protector of the Earth. But then he realizes that with him taking on the mantle of that, he's put the Earth and let alone the universe at risk because of his actions, because everything that's happened from the Saiyan saga all the way to, at this point in time in the Cell saga, the end of the Cell saga, it's kind of his fault in the sense because even though he saved everyone, it's kind of, he says it himself, you know, it's like he was sent to Earth to destroy the Earth. And even though his mission was that, and even though his actions were completely different, it's kind of like he's been fulfilling this mission ever since. That's what he truly believes. So, I personally believe if you're gonna do it seriously, you have a different version of Goku. It really depends where you draw the line between your story and anime. Do you really have Goku really goofy? Do you have him be like kind of dumb or comedic? Do you have him more serious and more realistic, more of an action hero type, or do you just have him be like a Superman type? You know, it really depends on where you're coming from with your story. But I personally believe I would like to see a Goku that definitely has the elements of the anime and the manga, but definitely is not too unrealistic and a little too, I guess, unconventional when it comes to certain topics. You know, like death, or how the story should continue, and how he deals with several actions that go on throughout the story, like death and, you know, villains and the Earth, and, you know, having this struggle with power and stuff. So it really depends on the writers and all that type of stuff. I personally believe if you're gonna have a Goku storyline and really specifically dedicated to Goku, after that, you really don't really need Goku. You don't. You know, you can just dedicate it to Gohan, who is definitely a good hero in his own right, and definitely can lead a story with himself. You know, and like I said, post Frieza saga, Goku has no real purpose. Yes, he's the savior of Earth. Yes, he's everyone's hero. Yes, he's my favorite character. But I would like to see Gohan be the character. Why can't he be the hero? You know, you have pretty much everything be the same. Just have Goku be the main protagonist. It would make more sense. It would be more entertaining. But then again, I guess it all depends on fans and how they react to that kind of reaction in the cinema. It really depends. Like, let's say that if I was in charge of it all, and I said, okay, he dies, and he's dead. By the end of the Frieza saga, he's dead. People are, like, pissed off, they don't like it, they truly are aggravated by it, or they want more Dragon Ball Z. The studio's like, let's get more Dragon Ball Z. We want more movies. We made a shit ton of money. Critics like it. Fans like it. But they don't really want Goku to die. Can you bring him back? Sure, do it. It's the anime world. And it's the movie industry. There's always a way to bring back characters that have previously died. It's completely not out of the realm of possibility. I just personally believe that if you're going to do a Dragon Ball Z story, start off at the Saiyan Saga and continue, you have Goku be the main protagonist, and then that leads up to the end of your story, having Gohan take on the mantle of hero. And then you have a second series of film, or as I like to call it, the Phase 2. You have Gohan, take on, be the main protagonist, and you have his continuous storyline, which obviously ends at the Cell Saga. But if fans don't like that idea, of course you can just continue having Goku be the hero, and just have, you know, Gohan just have a surprise attack, and he's actually the hero. And it's all just shot for shot anime. You know, it all really depends on you guys. But personally, I would rather go the other way. Now when it comes to Dragon Ball. Personally, Dragon Ball franchise is essential to Dragon Ball Z. How far do you go with Dragon Ball? I've said this before, it really depends on how far you're going. I would personally like to see a TV version of Dragon Ball because it just makes more sense. You know, it's hard to fit so much of the storyline of Dragon Ball into the movie format without changing things and just completely shitting on it like they did with Dragon Ball Evolution. It really fucking depends. But if I were going to do it, I'd personally like to start off at the beginning of Dragon Ball, work my way through the Red Ribbon Army sagas, then go and end it with the King Piccolo sagas, and then have the ending somehow around foreshadow and, of course, introduce characters that we'll eventually see in Dragon Ball Z. But I guess it all depends on where you go with it. Once again, you have to find out a way to draw the line between the anime, the manga, and your own story. I personally love it all, and I would like to see it all presented to me, but I personally would like to start the Saiyan Saga. That's my personal opinion. A lot of people feel differently, but I guess it all really depends. But that's going to be it for this current addition to my creating a Dragon Ball live action franchise. I hope everyone's enjoyed, and I definitely will be back with another edition. Hope you guys enjoyed. This has been JohnJoker12, and leave me in the comment section your thoughts on where do you start with the Dragon Ball live action franchise. Thank you.